So I'm having a lot of fun aging well. Personally, um, I'm dialing in my nutrition. I'm learning how to cook. I really like pasta. I really like the Italian style of cooking. I have also just recently dove into arugula. Holy smokes! I didn't know that you could like a form of lettuce so much. So I've been really investing my mental faculties into cooking, into reading cookbooks and understanding heat, fire, salt, things like that. I've also started to recognize, like, you've mentioned it earlier in our conversation, mind, body, spirit. Well, the piece that I kept forgetting was the emotion, actually. So I started working with a therapist. I went down to Mexico. I did some ancient medicines. I did a psychedelic experience for trauma survivors. And it was like I had this, cathartic release. It was like an emotional enema. And I remember I came back from that and I'm still working. I'm doing all these other things. I'm just like adding in more flavor and seasonings into my life and just becoming like an attempt to be a very healthy, grounded person. And so I came back, I had this emotional enema of an experience and I'm sitting down and I'm talking to one of my friends and I'm like, I just can't stop crying all week. I've just been like crying and I'm just starting to figure out like there's clearly something wrong with me. And I was on WebMD and I'm writing down, I'm like self-diagnosing and it's time for me to have my weekly check-in with my therapist. And she's like, well, how was your week? And I said, well, I'm here to say I've got some really bad news. And she's like, well, what's going on? I was like, I was on WebMD and I can't figure out what my problem is, but I've been looking at my symptoms and I've narrowed it down to I'm psychotic, I'm bipolar, I'm manic. And she was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I was like, I can't stop crying. I've been crying all week. And she said, well, before we start to really push the gas on a self-diagnosis, she was like, let's just wait another week and then come back to the table and talk about it. And she said, but for this week, I just want you to sort of sit with your emotions. I just want you to like feel them. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't even know what it means to feel them. It's just like, I'm sitting in a chair and like rocking myself and like self-soothing and hugging, like I should be in a straitjacket. And we come back for my next week meeting and she was like, how did it go? And I was like the craziest thing happened. Like, I was like crying really hard Monday through Wednesday. And then on like Thursday, I cried sporadically and Friday I was sort of okay. Saturday was okay. Sunday I went for a run. Like, I didn't try and drink my emotions away or eat them or run them. I just sort of sat and just like let the emotions pour through me. And she said, yeah, so I don't actually think that you're psychotic or bipolar or manic or any of these things. She said, I think you're actually acknowledging your feelings for the first time in your life. And I was like, you mean people feel like this all the time? You're like, well, no, but if you've turned them off for the last 30 years and then you've opened them back up, like there is going to be an emotional experience that you have to start getting regulated. So I'm aging well by allowing my emotions to flow freely, recognizing that crying is cathartic and it's not a form of weakness, and being able to talk about what I want and what I need as a healthy individual that's able to be in a secure relationship with my friends and my family. And I'm really working on undoing generational traumas that have been following my entire family and the lineage. And I'm working on just being healthy all around. Like, I'm not trying to become a bodybuilder or an ultra marathon runner. I'm learning how to just exist and be joyful and happy in my skin and carrying that with me through my lifespan.